Hey, happy day 950 of What Shipped You Now. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, playing with a dog ring light, a dog glow-in-the-dark ring light. I was using it for taking it to the hoop, my Supersize Your Business video today, but I didn't end up using it because it turns out there's a basketball filter that if you put your finger up, it didn't work very well for me, but if you put your finger up, it drops a basketball on it and then it spins it around sometimes. I don't know if I even got it to actually work on the video, but it was fun to play with, and I was trying to make the hoop and have it go through the hoop. When I wasn't on camera, I was playing with it. So, handling difficult people. Why do I want to talk about handling difficult people as part of what I'm up to as I transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world? Because guess what? There are as many, if not more, difficult people online as there are offline. Shocker! Guess what? Human beings that are different than us, we automatically consider difficult or challenging. And as I was making my list of difficult people for the Setup for Success precursor to the next Get Up and Go 30-day free challenge, I was thinking about, and one of the brainstorm topics I had in there was difficult people, mainly because I've had a couple of difficult people in difficult situations pop up in my life recently. And you'd think during COVID people would be nicer and they wouldn't be difficult and they wouldn't be challenging, but guess what? When people are stressed, they tend to accentuate some behaviors and suppress others. And unfortunately, when people are stressed, they don't necessarily accentuate their positive attributes and positive behaviors. They tend to seek and lash out and do things that are sometimes crazy in our minds, but only in our minds, because people behave in ways that they think it's right at the time for them. So I was making the list of people that I consider difficult. People like control freaks. Why? Because I used to be a control freak. I used to have to and wanted to have everything my own way or I would get upset. Know-it-alls. We have a relative we call the professor because he knows everything about everything. No matter what you know, no matter what experience you've had, no matter what you're an expert in, this person knows better than you about everything on the planet. It's kind of mind-boggling. Egotistical, narcissistic, loudmouths, probably because sometimes I am. People who are super pessimistic or down or rude or mean or angry or disapproving or judgmental. Especially in the last 10 years, judgmental became, after my sudden cardiac arrest, people that were super judgmental just drove me up a wall. Why? Because before my sudden cardiac arrest, I was probably very much more judgmental than I wanted to be. And I found that handling difficult people, a lot of it is realizing that everybody comes into our life for a reason. They come into our life to either be an example or to show us something, maybe something about them, but maybe something about ourselves. And that's sometimes difficult to see, sometimes difficult to realize, oh, that's how I behave, that's why I'm attracting this person, is to show me that maybe that's not the best absolute way to believe and to be and to behave toward other people. I remember I had a super controlling boss once, and I hated it. I hated being looked over my shoulder all the time, told me exactly how I had to do every bit of every task that they told me to do or delegated to me, because I like to think of myself as a self-starter. It drove me up a wall. But then I realized that the people I was supervising, I wasn't giving them enough leeway to do things their own way. I really learned from that boss that what I needed to do, as well as I needed that boss to do for me, was provide the expectations and a guideline for what I wanted as an outcome, but then leave it up to the individual, the person, to find a way to do it that fit their strengths, their abilities, and what was comfortable and worked best for them. Because that's why we hired them. That's why I was hired. That's why I hired the people that worked for me in the first place, was because we wanted to get better results. And guess what? I realized that just because I thought something was the best way to do it didn't mean that it was the best way to do it. And when you hire people that have expertise that you don't, you have to trust that they are going to do things the most efficient, effective, smartest way possible. That's why we hire them. That's why we hire other people, is to get that synergy that happens from building teams and doing things and joining forces with other people to get better results. But you got to let people go and give them the freedom to figure out how that will be accomplished, not expect that they'll do it your exact way. So we bring people into our lives subconsciously, because a lot of people that I've brought into my life, I would not have brought into my life on purpose, in order to show us something or teach us something, or to be maybe it's to be an inspiration, or maybe because people come into our life for positive reasons too, right? To give us hope, to give us direction, to give us guidance. But they also come into our life to show us that maybe we have some personal growth and development areas that we can work on as well. I think it's really, really sad when I meet a person who thinks that they've got everything figured out when they clearly don't. Now, it's really exciting when you meet a person that is confident and believes and knows that they have certain areas and aspects of their life 100% dialed in and figured out. And those are the people I look to for as role models, because I know I got a lot. I'm a work in progress, just like most human beings, if not all human beings. We're always striving to make progress and be better versions of ourselves. So I love it when, and you can tell the difference between a person that sincerely knows they're running toward the life that they really want, and a person that is stalled in a position where they are trying to prove to the rest of the world how awesome they are. And maybe they are awesome in a certain area that they're trying to prove it in, but there's other parts of their life that are falling apart. Been there, done that, right? 10 years ago, just 10 years ago even, on the outside, my life looked like hunky-dory awesomeness, right? Running a handful of businesses, married, 2 amazing children, all the stuff you would ever want or imagine. Yet, so on the outside, everything looked amazing, and on the inside, I was actually shriveling. I was just dying. I was shriveling up and dying because there were so many areas and so many aspects of my life that were falling apart and crumbling and just disappearing before my very eyes. Some of the foundational things and the foundations that I thought I had built my life on were not foundations at all. They were built on quicksand. One was my marriage. It was built on quicksand. I thought it was built on a foundation of mutual and shared values and goals, and it turns out it was not. It was I don't know what it was built on, but it was definitely built on quicksand, not on a bedrock foundation of common goals and values and agreement. And shame on me for that, but I was so busy working on other areas and other aspects of my life that I wasn't paying attention to that event unfolding in my life. And then all kinds of other things. It wasn't just that. It was my physical well-being, my relationships, business relationship. We had a partner that got the business in legal trouble, and we had to be unveiling and uncurling, and I had to be fixing that. And so a whole lot of stuff happened, and it showed me a lot, taught me a lot about difficult people, and that no matter how much we anticipate what we think people will do it's amazing. People are extremely creative, both in positive and negative ways, and they will come up with things that you could not even have imagined. Stuff that happened with a particular business partner, and even my ex, I could not even have dreamt up that people would behave in certain ways. It's so far out my way of thinking, outside of my way of thinking, outside of my way of believing, I couldn't even have imagined it. It was just some crazy times. And I think that we're seeing that with COVID. I think people, with all of the change that's simultaneously happening for millions and millions of people, we are seeing people behave in ways that is just mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. Super intelligent, smart people that would normally think for themselves are out participating in things and activities that I don't think they ever would if they weren't beat down by, let's be honest, outside forces, the media, the pandemic, what's going on in their lives. Don't worry and fear. It's just crazy. So, difficult people, that was our setup for success, precursor to the next Get Up and Go challenge. Supersize Your Business was about taking it to the hoop. I think I talked about the basketball finger that didn't work very well, but it was kind of fun to play with. It's really funny. Filters I think they're a fascinating thing. I'd like to know how to create my own. I'd like to create my own couple of filters. I think that would be fun that I could use for my videos, or rims or frames, like frames or filters, whatever they're called. But I find I can't make myself, or I can't use the filters. No, there's all kinds of filters, at least that Facebook shows me, that could make me look younger and take my wrinkles out and make me look cute. But I'm like, if anybody really meets me, they're gonna be like, it's like a dating site where you put a picture that's 20 years old on the dating app, so that, now I've never been on a dating app, but I'm just guessing, 20 years old on the dating app, and then when people meet you, you look like this, you've gained 30 pounds and you've got all these wrinkles, and they're like, are you kidding me? Where did that picture come from that was on the site? And I don't ever want people to say that about me. So when it comes to picking filters, I'm like, I like to pick the fun ones. The lady with the rollers, that's one of my favorites. And then the little nerdy guy with the glasses, I like that one too. Or the bow tie and the glasses, I like that one too. But otherwise, I stay away from the filters that make me look better, because what you see is what you get. So that was difficult, people. Fun challenge today was kind of a fun one because it was about, and are you a person that goes to the store, you get the thing that you went for, and then you leave? I can maybe think of 1 or 2 occasions when I ran into the store to get the exact thing I needed, and that is all I purchased, all I got. One was a birthday cake because I was late for the birthday party, and I was in charge of bringing the cake. And I had to go pick up the cake. And so I went in, I got the cake, and that's all I got. Did I look at and want to get other things? Yes, but I didn't have time, so I was already late. And I really can't remember very many other times where I just went to the store to get one thing, and I only got that one thing. And my excuse is that I don't like shopping very much. So when I make the trip to a store, I'm going to make sure I cover as many bases as I can so I can make fewer and fewer trips to the store or the market or whatever. Now with COVID-19, we're not making very many trips to the store. I can count on one hand in the last 6 months plus how many stores I've actually been to. Now, sometimes I rode along and sat in the car while somebody else went in the store, but I don't count those because I didn't actually go into the store. So it's hard to say, what was the last thing I had to buy when I was in the store. But of course, I bought a magnifying glass. That was my last impulse buy when I was in the store, and I had to have it. So that was our fun challenge today. Fun challenge, really good challenge to be doing for 2020, given that there's been so much craziness going on. And I have found that if I focus and I look for at least one fun thing that I can do every day, it just makes me feel better. It makes my heart happier, no matter what's going on. I can have a terrible day or a big conflict with a difficult person, and I can still think about the one fun thing I did during the day. And that, in and of itself, is a helpful benefit to me. That and gratitude. If I think of the things I'm grateful for every day, if I get outside in nature and get some fresh air every day, and if I can find one fun thing a day, then I think I'm doing really, really well. That's it. That's all I've got today. Go out, make it an absolutely amazing day. If I can help you in any way, hit me up in the comments below. Otherwise, I will be with you tomorrow to fill you in on how it's going, what I'm doing as I transition from the brick and mortar world and corporate America, over a quarter century in corporate America, 27 different businesses and industries I've been an owner and operator, primary player in, and now I'm digging in and having fun online, because it offers me the ability to do what I want, when I want, where I want, with whomever I want, wearing whatever I want. For the most part, I can wear whatever I want, and I may or may not be half dressed or in my pajamas. I showed up online for, I think, 2 years in my pajamas and in my bathrobe. So it is what it is. All right, have an awesome day, and I'll of course be with you tomorrow.